Hi, it's Diana from the Dianaverse, and I'm here today to do a weekly herbal tarot reading for all of the signs, starting from Capricorn, who is still our birthday sign, our birthday babies, and going all the way around to Sagittarius. So before I get started, I just wanted to mention a couple little astrological things going on this week that are for everyone. You can look in your own chart to see where they fall in your chart if you want more personalized ideas. But otherwise, we had Venus Cassimi last Sunday. So that's when Venus is really close from our line of view to the sun. Like everything in astrology is like looking out from Earth where it looks like it's moving around. And that's what we're measuring the degrees from and all of that sort of stuff in astrology. So Venus was Cassimi the sun. That means it shines a light on all the things that Venus is doing. Right now, Venus is in Capricorn still. So that's an earth sign. It's like practical stuff. But Capricorn is a deep sign. It's practical stuff that matters, not just stuff to be doing stuff. Now, Venus is retrograde, which means she's going over like what she's already done. And she's conjunct Pluto, who's like, let's change that stuff up, right? So towards the end of the week, we're also going to be having Mercury Mercury's been going back and forth with Venus talking. So it's all your old stuff, your old values, your value systems, your structures in your life under Capricorn, and reassessing what you value, how you want to feel valued. And Mercury communicates that to the outside world. Well, Mercury is going to be going retrograde Friday also. So the famous Mercury retrograde. Mercury is in Aquarius, so look for snafus and things that you have to go back over with communications, electronics. Aquarius is an air sign, so it's all of the like more mental stuff or things that work on electricity like computers. So if you are having glitches with things, I would back up your stuff. Note to self, I need to do that. Been meaning to do that for a while. And it'll be retrograde for a few weeks. It'll be there with Venus. They're talking over old times. You might have some old situations, things you thought were settled that come back up, old beaus, old friends that come out of the woodwork. I've had a couple of those. Not always romantic things. The ones I've had come up were just people from the past. And it was kind of pleasant, like, hey, hi, how are you? What are you up to now? That kind of stuff. But it could be different for you depending on your chart. So astrology is very individualized if you really get into it. But I like to try to talk about some of the overarching patterns that are going on. After these few weeks, we'll have Venus and Mercury will go direct. Venus is already halfway through her retrograde, so she's starting to merge on the other side as the morning star. Both Venus and Mercury can either be the morning or the evening star, because where we see them on the horizon, depending where they are in their cycle, they'll either be more visible in the morning or more visible in the evening. They're kind of changeable. They're the only two planets that do that from our perspective. So once they're going direct, as we get into early February, all the planets are going to be direct. So this spring, from February, after the beginning of February into May, beginning of May, everything will be direct. It's going to be a great time to get stuff done. Everyone's going to feel kind of optimistic. May feel a bit rushed to do a lot of stuff, and it's good to think about it still. We still have these retrogrades, so I wouldn't rush into things just yet. Mars kind of likes to push us to rush into things, but think it through. And it's a great time to lay a base, make plans. Especially this week, the moon is void of course Wednesday and Friday for periods of time. So it's a good time to think about stuff. Neptune will be in aspect on Friday, also when Mercury's going retrograde. So I would really not sign contracts and things like that on Friday. I know some people say that the whole Mercury retrograde, well, you can't really do that, right? It'd be hard to never make a decision. It goes retrograde a couple times a year. So Friday would be a good day to follow that rule, though. All right, moving on to our card reading before I talk too long about astrology, which I get a little overly excited about. So we are going to start with a card for the week for everybody. See what comes up as kind of a general theme. And, okay, 8 of Swords. So the swords are air sign. So it's thoughts. 8 is a number of kind of karma, and so it can be overthinking things, worrying about things. They have black cohosh as the plant here. Black cohosh is used a lot for perimenopausal symptoms where people are, it's kind of like your second puberty. But you can worry about a lot of stuff. So it's telling you got to sit still and think it through. But don't overthink it, like give yourself a break. Worrying doesn't really make anything happen, particularly except to stress you out. So that's for everybody for the week. Try not to stress out. Now we'll move on to Capricorn. Let's see what our Capricorns have this week. So King of Wands, and it came up reversed. I do reversed. Not everybody does that. So my opinion with reversed is a lot of times it can be the flip side of things. King of Wands. Wands are the fire suit, so it's like the master of energy. So anywhere where you have maybe not mastered your energy, you might want to take a look at this week, especially with our Venus retrograde, where we're in Pluto, conjunct Pluto, about power. And think about like maybe some of your bad habits you want to master. We still have time to work on those during the retrograde. They used cinnamon for this card. So cinnamon is used a lot as a catalyst to move things. So anything that you're needing to kind of move, maybe you just have some situations that are a little stagnant. Capricorn is a power sign, right? Very powerful earth sign. So you may have some stuff that you just haven't been getting around to, or you really want to change up a bit, and this would be a good week to look at that. Okay, on to Aquarius. Now you can also look at your rising sign and your moon sign if you want to get more out of this reading. I am an Aquarius rising, so that's why I think of it right at this point. And we have King of Pentacles. So we got a lot of court cards, king cards so far. Capricorn and Aquarius are related in traditional astrology. They would be both ruled by Saturn. So King of Pentacles, your pentacles are your earth signs, so this is like your resources, right? And it's reversed, which goes along with our continuing retrograde with the Venus. You've got alfalfa, and as an earth sign, it's like a nourishing kind of plant. So you might want to think about your body, right? Like your mastery of your physical state. You might want to look at more nourishing things like soups. Maybe you're not hydrated enough, which a soup that would go along great with both nutrition and hydrating yourself. So Aquarius is airy by nature. Having some good like root vegetables in a soup can be a very grounding thing to do. Try it this week. See if it helps you feel a little better. And after Aquarius, we have Pisces. I notice my voice always gets lower when I do Pisces. Like, it's a sweet sign, so just soften up a little bit when I think of Pisces. And Pisces wants to have two signs, apparently, two cards. So we've got the Hermit, the number 9, and it's licorice, again reversed. We've got a lot of slow down and contemplate things this week so far for the signs. So licorice is a demulcent herb. Helps things, helps moisturize the body, kind of harmonizes other plants, like if you're doing a tea formula. So you kind of like Aquarius, you could use a little nourishing. You could use some time alone. Pisces likes to be around a lot of people. I mean, it depends on what else is in your chart, right? You could be totally asocial because you have other things in your chart. But in general, Pisces is a sign of the collective, and they like to be around other people. So you might need some time to yourself to kind of nourish yourself, maybe more with teas, as opposed to like Aquarius was the soups and the root vegetables. Maybe you just need some like really nourishing herbs, like and throw some licorice in your tea. And we all get a little dry in the winter, at least if you're in a state that's cold. I'm in Seattle. It's kind of got the heat on. It's very drying. So just kind of moisturizing yourself can be a good thing. And your second card that jumped out is Hawthorn, but it's Six of Wands. Again, reversed. A lot of reflection this week. So Six of Wands, it's like you can take action with things that you love. Hawthorn is a good tonic for the heart. It's like you need to be by yourself for a little bit first, like be the hermit and think about some things and nourish yourself. And then you have the energy with the wands to give love to others. So put yourself first this week. Nourish yourself first, your love first, and then give your attention to other people in your circle. Okay. After Pisces, we've got the Aries of the zodiac. Let's see what our Aries have got going on this week. So, Three of Pentacles. Again, these have all been reversed. That's really weird that they've all been reversed like this. So, Gentian, you might want to try some bitters this week if you've got any kind of sluggish digestion, anything like that going on. Three of Pentacles, this is, you're working on your trade. This is kind of a beginning phase, like the apprentice phase. So wherever you think you are with what you're trying to do in the world, it's a good time to go back over the basics. Make sure you've got down all of your basics. It'll make you more successful later this spring. Okay. And then we've got our Tauruses, the bulls of the zodiac. So you've got Five of Wands. I can't believe these are all coming out reverse. This is so weird. And I flip them around like when I'm shuffling for each sign. So yeah, the universe is telling us to like sit back and think about things a little bit this week. But the Wands, again, fire sign, so action. The plant there is turmeric. So turmeric helps increase circulation, helps prevent like colds and flus. 5 is kind of the number of fate in a way. So it can be things that you can't control and you're like up in arms about it. Try not to always try to be right about things this week. Wherever you take action, try to keep in mind that it takes a village to grow a garden. Most of the time, it's not just one person. It could be, but most of the time, it's many hands for a task. So honor other people's opinions. Even if you feel really strongly about something, like take 5 breaths on it. Give yourself a chance to like reflect on what other people are saying, and then come back and maybe give your 5 reasons why you're right, but without so much like effort at it. People will listen better if you're not just seeming like you're trying to be right about something. You might be right, but you also want to work with other people. So that's our Tauruses. Next we've got Gemini. see what comes up for Gemini. So, another reversed card. Oh, this seems to be the theme this week. It's a Page of Wands, and we have Shepherd's Purse. So a lot of wands this week, like a lot of people want to take action. It's good to reflect on what you want to take action on, maybe, and make your plans. Going with the kind of the energy of the week. So a page is kind of like a messenger type person in the court cards. So you might be getting some messages from other people, from the world. Pay attention. Sometimes those messages can be subtle. It could just be something that pops into your mind, or something you see multiple times, and think about what that reminds you of. Mercury rules your sign, Gemini, so it's a great sign for messages. And with Mercury going retrograde, you might not be so much giving messages to everybody else. You may be getting some messages. So pay attention to what comes in your mail, what songs pop up and make you think of something or someone. That's Gemini this week. Next we have our Cancerians. I have a Cancer moon, so this will be interesting for me. And if you don't know, like, your rising sign and your moon sign, you can go to astro.com and look under free horoscopes and look under charts. I would just do your basic chart if you don't know those basic things yet. And you can plug in your information. You need your birth time, which you can usually find on your birth certificate. Which isn't always 100% accurate, but at this phase, it's probably a good place to start. And that will give you a free chart drawing, and you can see where your things are. And they have a little chart in the bottom that shows all the different planets, and it's like a grid, so they kind of intersect. So if you see like the sun on the top and then Mercury on the side, you can see like where your aspects are between those two planets, if there are any. There aren't always, but a great place to get a free astrology chart. So Cancer, you've got 8 of Wands. It was reversed. I'm just holding it up so you can see it better face up. At this point, I think you get the idea. They were just all reversed this week. So 8 of Wands, and that's often messages too. Wands is an action sign, so it's things coming to you quickly. So sassafras is a native plant to the Southeast Americas, I believe. It was used a lot for general health. That's where the basis of root beer came from. When Europeans came over, they found that native people were using sassafras, and the leaves, the root is what were in root beer, but the leaves that were what was called filet, which was used in gumbos. And it's just a general kind of a tonic herb. These days, the FDA fed some mice 3 million times the sassafras what anyone would ever eat, and of course it gave them cancer, so they don't advise using it internally. But you could just take that idea and use, again, the tonic herbs. That's been coming up a lot in the readings. Getting to the root of things, I would say this was used as a root. You could get messages about ancestral things. For some reason, inheritances just popped into my mind, but I don't know. Cancer is very interested in the home and the family in general. So it could just be things from your family that come up, getting back in touch with some people you haven't been in touch with in the family for a while, or news of the family, things that are going on. So look for that. And if you do hear something, get right back to people and find out what that was. So next we've got our Leos. I gotta take a little sip, get dry. All that talking. So Leos, now we're on my sun, so we're going to be talking about lovely Leos. Oh, a whole bunch of cards came out. I guess Leo has a lot to say this week. We got 3 cards. So, oh, and one of them is just the generic card. So, I guess it's telling you everything is not about you this week, right? So, just like the Tauruses have to cooperate with other people, you also can't always be the one shining all the light in the room. That's how I'm going to take that. Give other people some space too. And then we have 7 of Pentacles, and y'all are breaking the mold. You're getting a right side up cards, not the upside down ones. So we've got Pentacles, which is Earth sign. It's rhubarb. Rhubarb root is used in traditional medicine as kind of a laxative. So Pentacles are the Earth sign. You also, it's winter. We're all sitting around way too much. You might want to get things moving. If you're not familiar with using rhubarb, I would probably try something more like dandelion root or senna. You can get it at any drugstore. Make sure your elimination system is working really well. But 7 of Pentacles is you're looking for meaning in your work. The Pentacles, the Earth signs are about livelihood, a lot of practical things. So this could be something you've been doing for a while. You're past the apprentice stage that, we saw the 3 of Pentacles was the apprentice stage. You're past that. And you've gotten to a certain level of mastery, and now you're trying to find where you want to go next with your livelihood. What has more meaning for you? Where can you can find pride in doing a good job, right? So where can you get a little more meaning out of what you're doing for a living? And if you put some work into that and really put some thought into where you want to go next, the last card that we got for Leo was 10 of Pentacles. So this is the completion of all that work. You could really have some success coming up. I would say this is going to come after the soul searching on what direction you want to take next, where maybe later in the spring, possibly, or it could be quite quickly. We've got Uranus doing some stuff. Things can happen quickly, but yeah, you're going to find some real satisfaction out of what you've been doing. They've got wild yam here, a Dioscorea. So that can be, it's used in Chinese medicine for nourishment. It's it's very watery kind of herb. So make sure you're getting enough hydration, I would say, as far as on a physical body level. Can also be if you have too much, Dioscorea grows like crazy in the south. It's kind of considered an invasive. If you're making good money, make sure you're putting some of that back into the community. Don't start being hoardery. Is that a word? Probably not. Make sure you're putting that back out in some way, maybe mentoring other people. Doesn't necessarily have to be about spending money. But sharing some of your skills with people who are just starting in your field, right? That would be a good way to help share your abundance. And Leos are so good at that. They love to teach other people and watch them shine too. Okay, moving on. We've got Virgo. So Virgo, and we're back to the reverse cards. So we've got Knight of Pentacles, and this is Elecampane. So the Knight cards, this court card, can be messages, but it's a little more advanced than the page card. So it can be someone helping you sometimes, or rarely it can be you helping others. But the Earth sign, so getting help with things that you need that are practical, maybe you need to move some furniture. You're cleaning under the couch and need someone to help move it. Or could be in your financial life, could be someone who mentors you and helps you accomplish some of your goals. You figure out what some of your goals are and someone helps you accomplish them. Elecampane is a really interesting plant, very aromatic. Used a lot in bitters. So for Virgo, like everybody else, we're just not moving enough in the winter in general. Maybe you are, and kudos to you, but most people aren't. It's used in a great bitters recipe by Rosalie de la Forêt. If you look on her site, she has Elecampane orange bitters that are so tasty. So you might need more bitters in your diet to help your digestion. So you might explore that. Okay, after Virgo, we've got Libra. I love the Libras, the harmonizers of the zodiac. And you get 2 cards. So the first one I got, and I just turned them right side up because I just hung in reverse. The 4 of Swords was actually right side up to begin with. So 4 of Swords, and your plant is mullein. So 4 of Swords is kind of like this guy. He's taking a rest, right? You got some stuff you're thinking about, you're giving it a break, and you're just taking a rest and having a sleep on it, right? So whatever's coming up for you at the moment, don't worry about it too much. Don't let it hang over your head. Just kind of give it a break this week. Mullein is used for all kinds of things, but especially for the lungs. So take care of your lungs. A little mullein tea is good if you've been smoking a little too much. You know, get some stuff in there to soothe that. And then your second card is Cypress. So the Chariot, and this was reversed, and I put it back side up. So Cypress is a Chinese herb I'm not super familiar with. I've seen it in formulas for moving stuff, but gotta say I don't know that plant very well. Actually have some in my cabinet. I've never used it. Somebody else gave it to me. The Chariot, you know, it's taking charge of your own life. Like he's grabbing those plants there and he's moving forward. But it was reversed. So, you know, you got some stuff you got to think through before you just charge forward with your life. Make sure that you're on the right path before you just take off in your Chariot willy-nilly going down the road, right? So I would wait to take some action this week. Make sure that you're sure what you're doing before you take off. Sleep on it a few days and then see how you feel. Okay, our next sign is Scorpio. And Scorpio, true to nature with its complexities, it wants 3 cards. So you got all major arcana cards here because Scorpio is the master, right? So, and they're all right side up too. So you're doing all right this week as far as not having to slow down too much. So the first one I got was the 8, which is strength. And they're using cayenne. Cayenne is a strong herb, right? It's used a lot to stimulate circulation, like in salves. Used to use internally to stimulate circulation because of its fiery nature, right? You break it out into a sweat, your eyes start watering. So you could maybe use some stimulation. Everybody seems to need a little boost this week. You could use maybe, if you don't like hot peppers, just, you know, add a tiny bit. Just, you don't always have to bulldoze through things. A little bit can be enough. Know when to stop. And that's true in life too. Like, you're doing really well, you're strong. Wherever you're working with other people, you know when to stop. Know when to not topple the temple. They got a little temple going there. On the traditional, like Pamela Coleman Smith one, she's holding the mouth of the lion because she has mastery over it. And Scorpios often are the rulers of relationships are in, but you know, do it gently. Let other people don't knock them over. Your next card is the Fool. So maybe try something you haven't done before. Like, you don't always have to know how to do something to go out there and do it, right? He's using ginseng. Ginseng builds strength in the body. It's another one of those tonic herbs. You could try some ginseng tea this week, but also it's like you have the strength to try new things. You won't fall over. Be open to new experiences. Even if you're walking towards that cliff, trust yourself, trust the universe that you're going to know how to handle it. It's going to be all right. And your last card, to emphasize that, is the Magician. So whatever it is you set out to do, you're probably going to do pretty well at it this week. The plant is astragalus, another building herb. It raises the chi in the body. So a ginseng astragalus tea with maybe just a pinch of cayenne. That sounds adventurous. Could really be the boost that you need to support you, because it sounds like you're going to have a pretty active week compared to everybody else. All right, Sagittarius, our last one for this reading. Let's see what our Sages are doing. So, Sages have Two of Swords. And you got Passion Flower. So swords, again, are air suit, air cards. Passion Flower climbs through the air using its little tendrils. It likes to climb on things. Passion Flower is used as a flower essence to stop circular thoughts, where you've got stuff going around. Maybe you've got two situations. You're like, is it this or is it that? Should I do this or should I do that? Do I like this person? Do I like that person? Do I want this job? Do I want that job? Like, that can just kind of get repetitive sometimes, and you worry about it a little bit. You can probably handle both, right? Like this person here, they got two hands. They can hold two swords. So you can have two thoughts at the same time. I would sit with both of them this week and think about them, and maybe by the end of the week you'll kind of sort out if you want one more than the other, or you might figure out that you can have two things going on, and that works out just fine. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that one. So that wraps up our cards for this week. If you enjoy these readings and you want me to keep doing it, subscribe to my channel and hit like beneath the videos. That lets me know that you want to keep going with this, and it also helps my YouTube algorithm, because it's a numbers game on YouTube.